tails. See if we get some big gusts of wind. Look at upwind. Get some good wind gusts from the north. And it's supposed to be up to 28 miles per hour or about 25 knots. But you know, we're kind of waiting for it. Little dark puff over there you can see. See what happens here in a minute. Wind's been really shifting a lot. Kind of flutting along. You see the telltales there. Up. There we go. Blasted. Yeah, that wasn't much of a blast. See if we get some more. You know, trying to keep those telltales balanced, but really hard. This wind is shifting like a lot. Now you can see more black wind coming. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tack, be ready for it, even though I think I might get blasted before I get through my turn. I should add a little more speed, but I didn't. Alright, here we go. Now we'll get some blasting. Take my butt off the edge. What we got here? Not really bouncing my tail so much because the wind is shifted a lot. So I'm just trying to find the right edge. Got one of my seat covers coming off. I'm gonna have to do that. Here comes the blast. I got my windward telltale kind of flying up. If I turn down, I fly a little bit more, but sometimes that little telltale is okay. When you got a lot of wind like this, I bring it down. Okay. It's always a balancing act. I'm just going to go ahead and turn. Kind of stay out in the middle of the lake a little bit more. The lake is not terribly big. This lake is in North Idaho, USA. Bouncing over some of my own waves. This lake is really flat. Doesn't get a lot of wave action, but get a little bit. Little tiny bit of waves today. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to head up, get those telltales flowing aft. Looks like my daughter is getting her sail up on her boat. I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. Alright, sometimes when the wind really shifts around, earlier today, the wind was just dropping. You can see puffs of wind on the lake, and they were all twisting all over the place like little wind tornadoes. Not really going anywhere. They're just kind of sitting there going in circles. So sometimes the best thing to do when you have that is just to hold your course and wait for some more consistent wind. Right here is what I'm in right now. It's that twisting wind. But over here, I should get a nice little puff of wind here shortly. So I can get a little more speed so I can tack. Kind of watching it. Sometimes it's easy in light wind to just say, hey, I'm going to change course on this light wind, and sometimes you'll change course and it doesn't really benefit you at all. Sometimes it's just better to wait for a little better wind to come in. That's what I'm doing right now, just waiting. And that's typical of inland waters. When you're sailing on inland waters, you want wind that's, you'd like to have consistent wind, but winds on the inland waters tend to shift a lot. So it's just better a lot of times to hold your course. Right now I'm picking up a little speed again. And if I had turned a bunch of different directions, I wouldn't have made any headway. So it's just better to be patient. One thing about sailing is it teaches you to be patient. And when you go sail on the ocean, it's a piece of cake. Because typically on ocean winds, you have offshore, onshore breezes. Not in everywhere. There are places in the tropics where the wind is very inconsistent. But in general, ocean winds tend to be more consistent than inland water wind. You gotta see right now I'm getting shifted all over, but I'm holding my course. Gonna look at my tails. I'm just gonna keep sailing upwind. Just work my way up, be patient. I just got another header here. A lot of times when the wind shifts in front of you, they say to tack on it. The problem with inland waters, you'll get a lot of what we call headers, where the wind goes right in front, directly in front of the boat, the direction, the no-go zone. So you may want to change, you may want to tack because based on what they tell you. But I found in inland waters, not so much. We're going to get a big gust of wind here in a minute. Here we go. That's what patience brings. And I've still got my windward tail not flying. There we go. Good. And I don't even have my tailtails flying. I'll head up, try to get the tailtails going up. Look at that. I just got a major lift. That was awesome. And there's a little tiny puff here. Maybe it'll give me a little extra speed so I can do a nice tack. So I'm going to tack. I got a nice little extra little puff of wind there. Come around. Head back up. Now I'm in kind of like a little lull here, a little dead area, but you can see there's more wind coming. So I'm just going to wait for it. And here it goes. Look at the tails, get them flying, and just enjoy my day sailing. Always good to try to sail across the lake. Try to utilize the width of the body of water you're on. So if you do a million tacks, that's not great. You're just creating a lot of turbulence and a lot of extra turning. So just get some distance, and then you can easily sail into your lake. I mean, sail up to the dock. This is not the dock I'm going for. We're going to go to the dock where my other boats are. Kind of cruising along, got a nice little puff of wind. Return, got a little bit of... One thing you'll learn about gusts of wind is sometimes it's not good to react right when they hit you, because it seems like some puffs of wind will carry a bit of turbulence with it. So that first initial, it's like a wall of wind coming towards you. It pushes some disturbed wind in front of it, and about a second or two, right after it hits, the wind gets really consistent. Let's see, we got another puff here. Let's see if it does it. Let's watch her sail, see if it's really consistent or if it's pushing some disturbed wind. It may not. See, this one was good. That was nice. Very consistent puff of wind. But sometimes when you get a really dark patch on the leading edge of the puff of wind, it'll just create this really kind of crappy wind. And then it'll go the puff will just slightly pass you, and then you get this really nice consistent wind. And if you're going to tack, you want to get a nice puff of wind, want to let that wind build in your sail, give you some speed, and then if you need to tack or something like that, tack when you got a good flow over your sails, your tails are flowing. I'm going to kind of sail up to the dock and just a little harder because I got a bunch of boats here. I'm just going to kind of release this. I don't know, it may shift from behind. Wind's been shifting all over the place. So I'm going to kind of come down and see if I can stall my boat at all. I don't know if I'll be able to. There we go. I'm going to bounce it in here. I did that because the wind's shifting a bunch and I'm not going fast enough, and it's a plastic boat, so just tap into the dock and you'll be good. If I had someone on shore, it could help me, but I'm all by myself here. There. All right, so there's a little instruction. Not a perfect docking situation, but it worked. And we'll just kind of look out on the water, see what we got here. Always good once you hit the beach. Sometimes I like to disconnect the sail from the main sheet. I was going to get off here and undo that, but sometimes when the wind shifts behind you, you can see, like right now, my boat's shifting all over the place. So I'm just gonna get off, just let it do what it wants to do. All right, that's it. We'll go sailing again a little bit.